Hi, and welcome to Wageningen University Research. I'm Julia, and today I'm joined by someone from the Master's Program in Biology. Before we start, it'd be nice to have a brief introduction.
Hello, I'm Arno Hoetmer. I'm study advisor at Wageningen University. When students have questions during their study, they come to me and my colleagues.
Would you mind giving a brief description about the program?
Of course, biology is a very broad master's, which means that you can focus on many different aspects of biology, because biology is the study of life. And you can focus on cell biology, molecular biology, genetics or evolution. You can focus on plant biology, animal biology, so how does the organism work. But you can also look at ecosystems. So how do ecosystems work? What's the interaction between plant life, animal life, etc. So it's a very broad study. On top of that, biology focuses mostly on the fundamental part. And the fundamental part means how do things work? So how does a cell work? How do organisms work? How do ecosystems interact? But Wageningen University as a whole does a lot of research more in the applied sciences. So what can we do with that? So one of the nice things of Wageningen University, and especially biology at Wageningen University, is that you can combine these two things. You can focus on how do things work, but you can also focus on what do we do with them.
That sounds fantastic. So then how would the specializations work?
Biology has 4 different specializations: cell biology and molecular interactions, development and adaptation, health and disease, and ecology. However, within these specializations, you have many different areas of research in which you can study.
So the website states that you have a tailor-made program. What does that mean?
Well, basically it means you have a lot of different options. So when you look at the program itself, it consists of different areas. So you have, in your first year, you follow a couple of courses, half a year. And you have half a year more optional part, where you can choose what to do. You can choose to do different courses, and you can choose to do an extra thesis, for example. So you can really determine for yourself what you want to do. So in your second year, you can do a thesis, which you can choose yourself, and you do a thesis at one of the 28 different chair groups, which are research groups, which we have at Biology in Wageningen. And you finish your master's with your internship of 4 months, which again you can do on the guidance of any of those chair groups.
Would you mind giving me an example of a thesis topic?
We have many different possible research topics. It really depends on what you do. Like I said, we have 28 different chair groups, and even within the chair group there are many different possibilities. So very difficult to mention all the different areas. But to give one example, one of the students I spoke to last week did a thesis on how attractive certain people are to mosquitoes and what causes that. One of the things he found is what's very important is the bacteria that lives on your skin, for example. And that really depends that certain people are much more attractive to mosquitoes than other people are. So it can really mean that when you're in the same room with somebody else that you get stung quite a lot and the other one doesn't.
Wow. Are there specific requirements that you need for admission?
The admission requirements are quite strict. To be admissible to the Master Biology, you have to have had a Bachelor Biology. And also you have to have done a bachelor where you had every different aspect of biology has to be part of your program, including stuff like statistics, mathematics, chemistry. So when a student applies, we determine at that point, okay, during their study, did they have enough of every aspect of biology in order to be admissible to the Master Biology.
So what are typical jobs that students of this program end up with after they graduate?
Well, that varies quite a lot. Like we said, there are many different areas in which you can specialize during your master's. So it really depends, like if you're a cell biologist, you do something completely different from somebody who's into ecology, for example.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But still there are some general areas. Many of our students continue in research, which can either be PhD or research in other capacity, at a company, for example. But also half of our students do not continue in research. So they can work at a consultancy firm, or they can work at the government, they can start a company, they can start to teach. There are many different options. Since there are so many areas, we thought it would be nice to have a little booklet on where our alumni start to work. So on our website there is a very nice booklet which has examples of many different of our graduates, what type of jobs they do, and they describe what they do. So it's a very nice read if you want to know more about what you can do after biology.
And what would you say is the difference between studying biology at Wageningen versus studying a different program?
Like I said, biology is a very broad subject and it's very fundamental. So we have a lot of other masters which really are close to biology, like plant sciences, animal sciences, molecular life sciences, biotechnology, forest and nature conservation. Those are all master programs which delve into a specific area of biology. The difference with those programs is that biology is more fundamental. So it focuses more on how do things work and less on what you do with it. But since it's Wageningen, you can really include the applied stuff as well. On top of that, if you do plant sciences, you focus mainly on the plants and on the interaction of plants and humans. And with biology, you can also study plants, but you can also go in the animal direction and the ecology direction, etc.
I hope we have provided you with enough interesting information about this topic, but if you still have questions, please feel free to email us at students@wur.nl or schedule a Skype meeting. And if you have any questions about admissions requirements or studying at Wageningen or student experiences, please check out the video, The Essentials of Studying at Wageningen University. Thanks and hope to see you soon.